Hello, now we're going to take notes 2. So again, we're starting our note count over as we start the second quarter. And so these are notes 2 for the second quarter called complex fractions. And I think about complex fractions, they sound complicated. They're kind of just fancy fractions. They're fractions within fractions, which is crazy. It's a fraction in the numerator and a fraction in the denominator, and our job is going to be to simplify these. Where we're going with this is we're going to need to be able to calculate unit rate with fractions. But in order to calculate unit rate with a fraction, we have to know how to deal with something like this first. We're going to break that down a little bit. So this is called a complex fraction. Complex fractions are fractions in a fraction. Very fancy. And what we have to remember about fractions is that the line here means to divide. So the first thing you're going to do, number 1, you're going to rewrite it. Rewrite the problem using the traditional division symbol. So the fraction on top is going to go first. 2/3 divided by 1/2. Step number 1, we just copied it down. Step number 2, we're going to flip the second. And multiply. If you remember, that's how you divide fractions. You flip the second and multiply, or you multiply by the reciprocal. So we're going to keep the 2/3 the same. We're going to change it to multiplication, and we're going to flip the second fraction. So again, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rewrite it using the traditional division sign, and then we're going to flip the second and multiply. We're just going to divide the fractions. To multiply fractions, we try to cross cancel. I can't on this problem, and so then we do top times top over bottom times bottom, and then I can rewrite that as a mixed number, 1 and 1/3. So simplifying this very complex or complicated fraction all the way down to just 1 and 1/3. Let's try one more example. This is the complex fraction. It's mixed fractions in a fraction. This line, again, just means to divide. So I'm going to start just by rewriting it. 2 and 1/3 divided by 1 and 2/5. So I took these and I wrote it horizontally instead of vertically. And then what we do is we can't have, when we're dividing, we don't have mixed numbers. And so I'm going to start by making these both improper fractions. This becomes 7/3 divided by 7/5. And then we're going to flip the second and multiply. So 7/3 times 5/7. These are called reciprocals again. And then I try to cross cancel. And this time I can cross cancel, which is helpful. I notice that the 7s are the same. 7 divided by 7 is 1. 7 divided by 7 is 1. And then we do top times top. 1 times 5 is 5. Over bottom times bottom. 3 times 1 is 3. And then 3 goes into 5 once with 2 left over. So that's my final answer. So again, complex fractions are just fractions and fractions. And we're going to use complex fractions when we work on calculating unit rate with fractions. But we'll start with this for now. Thank you.